Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, the Brooke Ashley, and today we are here to discuss the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City Season 2 finale. First things first, Salt Lake City was way too long. This season did not have to be 21 episodes. We could have wrapped this up a cute 5-6 episodes ago. Honestly, when they were in Zion, we could have had the finale right then and there. But this finale wasn't giving, and it fell flat, and it had me pissed off at how Mary was treated. I have never seen a more desperate group of women on a franchise. 90% of this cast needs to go. Heather, Lisa, and Whitney showed their hands. Jennie, I'm about to tear you all the way up because what you did was so raggedy and so pathetic.
There we go. Thank you. And you're going to always get it again and again and again.
Jennie is one of the worst additions that we have ever seen. If you would have told me that this season was going to go the way that it did, I would have never believed you. I got in front of this camera telling you guys in the episode 1 recap that everybody was in for a treat. SLC was about to come through and be that girl, and it was a major flop. And on top of that, the newbie is a racist clown. But look, I don't want to take up too much of your time, so let's just jump into this episode. I'm going to let you guys know right now, there are quite a few scenes that I'm going to breeze past. This is not going to be your formal recap where I'm going scene by scene by scene and talking about every little detail. We ain't doing that. The episode didn't give all that, okay? So I'm going to get to the meat and potatoes, and I'm going to let you be on your way, all right? The episode starts off with 2 short scenes with Lisa checking out her venue for her Vida Tequila party and Mary playing mini golf with her son. Now, they could have kept that Lisa scene because we don't care, and I could have seen more with Mary and her son because it seemed like they were having a good time. I have to say, I had no idea that I would come to like Mary as much as I like her. I just feel so upset that this was her last episode. I'm like, Mary really deserved a lot better. She really is the comic relief on this show, and she's really not fazed or bothered by these women, which makes things even better. But I would have loved to have seen a longer scene with her and her son playing mini golf, and I actually want to know who won the game because they were betting $100 to the winner. This next scene with Jen Shah had me irritated. Her and her second assistant are trying to pack her closet up. We see the movers arrive, and Jen lets it be known that she has finally found a new home for them to lay their heads at. She says the house isn't 9,000 square feet like this one, but it's half the size of that. And then she goes on to say that downsizing is depressing. I said, so you're still moving to a fairly large house because half of 9,000 is 4,500 square feet. And that's a very nice sized house. So depressing for who? And it's quite tone deaf to talk about how depressed you are about downsizing when the folks who were swindled out of their money have not gotten their money back. So the movers are asking Jen questions. They're like, why are you guys moving in the first place? And she says, to help with my legal case because the legal bills are about $2 million. So they're like, oh, well, I understand. So now they give her a quote and they say, well, to pack everything up, it's going to be around $8,000 to $10,000. So Jen is like, now you know that I don't have 2 nickels to rub together, so I'm going to need y'all to drop that price down. Honestly, she needs to have a yard sale. Especially with all those clothes, she would make a nice killing, and that would help with the legal fees too, and it would help lighten the load when it comes to moving into the new house. Then Jen says that her trial starts on March 7th, and that's right around the corner because February is pretty much over. So that's going to be a hot mess. But she goes on to add that she's terrified, she's scared, and this really sucks because not only does she take care of her entire family, but the fact that this could be the last time that she sees her family. Again, I feel very sorry for her sons to be going through this. The fact that their mom might be in jail because she wanted to flex and get a few designer pieces, that's really pathetic. We get to the next scene with Heather. I have to be very transparent that I am going to skip over this scene. A lot of sources are coming out saying that Heather's timeline doesn't make sense. People who personally know Heather have been coming out saying she's lying. Actually, her family didn't disown her. They were actually pretty cool with her. Like, her sister has been in everybody's good graces. Like, she's honestly just lying and doing all this for a storyline. And I really feel like Heather is beating this escape from Mormonism plotline to death, and I'm no longer interested. I'm glad that she was able to have a celebration of life ceremony for her father, but this scene, in my opinion, felt very contrived and very fake. Just being very honest. And I personally feel like certain things like funerals and memorial services don't need to be shown. I think that that's a very private moment anyway. So again, it just wasn't sitting right. And it gave me very much, I'm doing this for show. So now we jump to the only good scene of the night, and that was Meredith and her photo shoot. So she decided to partner up with Glad. Everybody looked amazing. I thought Chloe and Brooks looked great. And I have to say, at one point, I thought that Chloe was Meredith because she literally stole her mom's face. I said, Meredith, your daughter is your twin. Meredith is really happy. She says in her confessional that her son Brooks is going on his own journey, and she accepts that. Then she says that true equality is not having to come out at all. And she's right because someone else's sexuality or preference isn't anybody else's business. So we go from a fabulous photo shoot to this dumb scene with Whitney and Justin. Let me tell you something. I do not ever want to see or think about Whitney and Justin having sex.
No.
This scene did not need to be shown. It gave very much Ashley and Michael Darby 2.0. And y'all know how I feel about them. And that's how you know that your storyline was weak to non-existent when one of your final scenes is this. So now we finally get to the night of Lisa Barlow's Vida Tequila event. And it was an 80s style party, but she didn't want anybody dressed up in 80s clothes. So she and John arrive to the venue. It's set up nicely. They have the food. And I will say that Lisa did do a nice job with the spread. She had churros, pizza, French fries. My mouth definitely watered when I saw those churros. I love some churros and some caramel sauce. I recently had some when I went out a few nights ago. So when I saw them, I was like, ooh, I could go for some more. Now, may I just say, I don't know if Lisa only sells her tequila in Utah, but I have yet to see her tequila brand anywhere. I live in New York. I have not seen a Vida Tequila bottle at any of the liquor stores that I go to. So I don't know what's up with that. I don't know how she makes all this money from it because I have talked to quite a few people and they've all said the same thing, that Vida Tequila is not sold in their city either. Not that I'd be supporting her, but I was just curious. So everybody starts arriving to the party. Heather and Whitney arrive. Coach Shah and Jen are there. And Jen, I don't know what that look was, but you missed the mark because, girl, that wasn't it. So Meredith and Seth arrive. Meredith is making nice with everybody. She's greeting all the ladies. And of course, Heather feels some type of way. And she's like, I just don't understand what these two have going on. It's like their friendship is a friendship that never was. I was like, what are you saying, Heather? And for you to question their friendship, are you forgetting your rocky relationship with Jen Shah? Jen Shah, the same woman who called you Shrek. She was calling you a racist. She was cursing you out, getting in your face. The one who told you repeatedly that she couldn't stand you. But you forgave her time and time again. But you have your nerve to question Lisa and Meredith's friendship. Make it make sense. Mary arrives to the party and she's looking around. She's like, I don't even know anybody here. Like, who are these people? And then we see the producer asking her why she isn't ordering any tequila. So Mary says that Lisa's tequila tastes like water and is super blah and bland, just like Lisa. I said the shade of it all. So we see Mary walking around the party. She's talking to people. And Jennie's standing at this table. And it's clear that she wants Mary to see her and talk to her. Mary is purposely ignoring her. And anybody would, because who is Jennie? I would be paying Jennie dust. So Jennie's upset and she's like, Mary's not speaking to me. Like, who does that? Have some common sense and some common decency. You want to talk about somebody having common sense when you're the biggest dummy of them all. Got it. Say what you want about Mary, but Mary really is that girl. She has these women bothered. Because for people who claim that they don't like her, they are awfully pressed when she ignores them. So we see Mary and Coach Shah talking. Coach Shah is thanking her for inviting Jen to her church. And then we see Whitney come out of nowhere. And she's like, Mary, can we talk for a minute? And Mary's like, no, we can't. Like, you're drunk. I smell it on your breath. Like, you're not 100%. So Whitney is begging and pleading for Mary to talk to her for a few minutes. And I just wanted to know, Whitney, you're okay with looking this pathetic? So Mary gives in to Whitney's cries, and they go off to the side and talk. Whitney apologizes for saying nasty things about Mary's church, calling it a cult. And Mary's like, but girl, why did you say it? Like, that's the part that I don't understand. Because it's one thing to hear about something, it's another thing to carry it and repeat the rumor. So Whitney defends herself by saying, well, honestly, it's not like I said anything that hasn't been said before. Like, it's out there in the public. And by the way, you put me down. And had that not happened, then I wouldn't have been going on you so hard. But I'm like, Whitney, if you want to go by that logic, then how come you weren't on Jen Shah's case? Because the way Jen Shah treated you all last season was unacceptable. She was cursing at you, wanting to fight you, all up in your face, calling you everything but a child of God, but you had no smoke for her. So it's really comical to say that because Mary put you down, then you wanted to get back at her. Again, it's just really interesting who these ladies pick and choose to go at. So Mary's really pissed off and she's like, don't do that. Like, don't sit up here and try to qualify why you were acting the way you were acting. Like, I am not a mean person. I don't go out of my way to hurt people. So of course, Jennie's desperate ass is looking for a moment. She's eavesdropping on their conversation and she's like, did Mary just say that she's not mean? What? So now she walks over there and she interrupts and she's like, Mary, did you just say that you're not mean? Is that what you said? Why were you so mean to me? So Mary's like, girl, if you don't get out my face and shut up. And then Mary's like, oh, I guess the hood Jennie is gonna come out. So now Jennie gets really pissed off by Mary saying that she's hood. And I was like, But Jennie, you were the same one saying that you're from Long Beach and you'll tie your hair up and slap some Vaseline on your face, now weren't you? So which one is it? So while Jennie's screaming and making a fool of herself, Mary and Whitney get up to talk by themselves. And so Jennie decides that she's going to follow them like the loser that she is. So Mary says, baby, I did not sign up to be near you. Like, leave me alone. So Jennie decides that she wants to get her snowflake for season 3. And she decides to throw a glass at Mary Martha Cosby. And they need to thank God that Mary has a crumb of sense and that she's a pastor, because anybody else would have whooped Jennie's ass. And y'all know how I feel about violence, but in this case, if you throw a glass at me, all bets are off. I'm not giving you classy and refined, I'm giving you something else. I said, Jennie is just so disgusting. I want to jump through that TV and slap her. I was pissed. You've been harassing this black woman on the cast all season long, and now you decide that you want to throw a glass at her to have a moment. And that moment fell flat. Heather and Lisa, let me get y'all together real quickly, because Heather, I saw how you were egging Jennie on when she was chasing Mary. You sitting up there, big old smile on your face. But you want to be all, but I'm just so sweet. I'm this former Mormon girl. I'm just so innocent. I'm just so nice. I'm a good friend. But yet and still, you're high-fiving a woman who just threw a glass at another woman in your friend group. And Lisa, for you to say that you don't care about what Jennie did to Mary spoke volumes. Lisa is a very vile person, like I have said from day one. How disgusting of you to hug Jennie and say, you know what, girl, it's fine. I don't care. It's all good. If you want to throw a glass, that's fine. I couldn't believe it. Even if you don't like Mary, you don't have any sort of common decency. You don't have any regard for another person. And it really made me sad that none of the husbands went on to check on Mary. Like, everybody just watched as Mary was being harassed like that. I said, my God, where are Portia Williams and Monique Samuels when you need them? Because they would have whooped Jennie's ass for that. I mean, before that glass had even touched the ground, they would have had an uppercut to the chin. So we see Mary make her exit, and Mary, when I tell you that you will be sorely missed. You are much needed on this franchise, and I think that this franchise is going to tank with your departure. So with Jennie's weak-ass moment out the way, we now see all the ladies standing together. Jen and Meredith start going at it because Jen wants to know why Meredith does not want to be her friend. Meredith says, look, I just don't have the capacity to support you in the way that you need to be supported. Jen is getting upset because we know that she craves Meredith's validation and she just will not take no for an answer. I don't know what's going on with a lot of the ladies' self-esteem on this franchise, but all of this begging for friendship has got to stop. Why do you want to be friends with somebody who doesn't want to be friends with you? Like, I'm just not understanding that. I have no desire to be around people who don't want to be around me. So now the topic of Jen discussing Meredith's marriage last year gets brought up, and Meredith is really pissed off, and she's like, look, I don't want to be your friend. You've done too much to me and my family. Like, it's enough. I'm not trying to have this conversation again, Jen. You said some really effed up stuff. I'm over it. I don't want to rehash it. Like, let's leave it alone. And of course, here comes Lisa trying to interject and play peacemaker. And she's like, Meredith, just hear Jen out. Just hear what she has to say. She just wants to be your friend, Meredith. Please listen to her. So now Meredith is like, look, I'm not doing this. And now she and Jen start screaming at each other yet again. And now Meredith says, you know what? I'm done. Like, I am out of here. I am just so over this. So now Meredith and Seth leave the party. And on their way out, Meredith says, sure, me and Seth did date other people while we were going through our rough patch. Like, that's the big news. Everybody knows. Nobody cares. Like, we're better than ever. And then we see her say in her confessional that she knows a lot of info about the other women and their extramarital affairs, so they need to keep it real cute. So of course we see Jen screaming, and she's upset that Meredith has given her her ass to kiss, and she's telling Lisa, it's not my fault that your best friend has effed the entire Upper East Side. I was like, Jen, if you don't shut the hell up, you're always trying to come out with some stale tea about somebody. Meredith has already acknowledged that yes, her and Seth were dating other people when they thought that they were going to get a divorce. You have a lot to worry about. When I tell you I would not be focused on anybody else if I were facing up to 50 years in jail. Jen has been so annoying this entire season, and I'm just so lost as to why she can't understand that Meredith wants nothing to do with her. And it really kills me because Jen thinks that she can treat people any old raggedy way and still have access to them. That's not how this works. People have the right to cut you out of their life if you're going to be mean and nasty. Nobody's going to keep putting up with verbal abuse time and time again. Everybody's not Heather and Whitney. But y'all, that's where this finale ends. We see the trailer for the reunion. I don't understand why this reunion is 3 parts. This season was not 3-part worthy. And with Mary not being there, it definitely doesn't need to be 3 parts. All in all, this has to be one of the sorriest finales I've ever watched. This was boring. It was dry. That moment that Jennie thought she had, and baby, you did all that to be exposed and then fired. And now you're disgraced. And Bravo didn't even give you a title card at the end. If Salt Lake City wants to see a season 4 and a season 5, I would suggest that they bring Mary back and eliminate a good portion of this cast. Heather, Lisa, and Whitney can all go, in my opinion. Keep Meredith, bring some new women on who have some money, who have some sense, and some style, and let them all work. But this cast going the distance, minus Mary, is a no for me. But all in all, I am not mad at Mary for skipping out on this reunion, because to be treated the way she was treated all season long was unacceptable. And I'm glad that she paid them dust. And something tells me that Mary is going to get the last laugh, because when those ratings tank and when they're on a long hiatus like Dallas, they'll see they should have never messed with Mary. And I mean never. But y'all, that was my recap / rant / overview, whatever you want to call this. I hope you all enjoyed. Thank you all for watching. And as always, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you all later. Bye.